Hey everybody, here we are at Bellied Up Podcast. We're at the VFW here in downtown Fargo, right across from the ice skating rink.
Yep.
And I'm here with my good pal Miles, the You Betcha guy.
I am here. I'm ready to roll.
We got a nice corner bar seat, which is exciting, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to take some calls with you, Miles. Miles, what's on your mind? How you living? Hey, have you been on the ice skating rink yet?
I haven't. No.
Are you a good ice skater?
You know, it's been probably since I was like 14, 15 since I've been on the ice.
Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
We once in a while would go. So there was a little outdoor rink growing up that we would sneak over to, me and my brothers.
Yeah.
And then one winter, for some reason, we went out to our lake cabin area quite a bit, and we would like shovel off the snow and skate on the lake.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun, but I literally just haven't done it since then. I don't even own skates. But you know, now that I'm going to be a dad, I might have to get back into it.
I think so. You know what? I think to get back into preparing for the day, I think you and I, after this, maybe go over that ice skating rink and take a spin around.
We could, yeah.
That'd be nice. A mandate?
Yeah, well, and honestly, I think ice skating is very Midwest. You know, I wish that I did it more.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings me to a question that we were talking about before the podcast, Charlie.
Oh, you guys had questions.
Well, when we were waiting for you to
I
show
was
up.
like,
Yep.
This place is right across from my hotel. And
We
I
had a
was 15
30-second
minutes late.
walk here.
I did text, though. I texted. I said, hey, I'm going to be there right at 11. Showed up at 11:03.
So we were talking about if aliens came to Earth, what in the Midwest would you show them? And you can't say the Wisconsin Dells.
Well, why would I show them that?
Because that's what you say for everything.
Well, here's what I would show them. I would be like, all right, this water here, these are the Great Lakes, and 20% of all the necessary sustenance we humans need to live, 20% in the world is located right here. I would show them.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I would show them the Great Lakes because I think they're cool. I'd be like, you can catch fish out of that. And then the aliens would be like, do you need the sustenance to survive? And I'd be like, oh, yeah, there's fresh water in there. How much fresh water is in the planet? Well, 20% of all of it's right here.
Oh, I see
and then
what you're saying.
They bring over the alien starship and then that's how I would inadvertently create alien overlords by giving them too much information because I wouldn't shut up about it, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I think I would do.
Okay. I think I'm going to go a different route.
Okay.
I think I want to show them more of the cultural side. So as much as it pains me to say, because you're going to be rock hard after this, but I think I would take them to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'd take them to some... Yeah.
Sorry. I was pushing off against the back bar there.
And I'd take them to some bars.
Yeah.
And then I think I would take them to a Packer game because Lambeau, in my mind, embodies what the Midwest is in a cultural event.
Oh, God. I am aroused and crying at the same time,
And
Miles.
Jared is a big Vikings fan, and I think he would also agree with me on that.
Well, that, God, you guys, I feel like this is my birthday right now.
Aliens would have a great time at the bar and tailgating, and then they would love being in Lambeau Field.
Yeah, they really would. In fact, that time that we went to the game together, I mean, that was really...
I still to this day cannot believe how easy it was to get beers in that stadium. There was no lines because there was a beer station. There was probably 2 beer stations per section in that stadium, I felt like.
Yeah.
And people walking up and down the aisles selling beers. I mean, I had more beer in that stadium than I have all the other stadiums combined, I feel like, because there was no wait time.
They know their clientele,
Yes.
Miles. They know their clientele. So you think the aliens would be Packers fans after this experience, or do you think they would be just very thrown by the whole situation?
I think they would have to be Packers fans after that.
Yeah, I mean, they're already Packers colors, you know. Aliens are green. They're halfway there.
Yeah, that's true. See, when I view Alien, they're more blue.
Oh, really?
Is that weird?
No, aliens are not blue. Everybody knows that aliens are green. Watch. Are you watching Do you know your history? Are you watching sci-fi movies from the 50s, or are you like?
Yeah, but are any of those based off of real aliens? We don't know.
No, they are.
Oh,
yeah. UFOs landed. Have you not seen Men in Black?
I have.
UFOs landed Area 51. They have actual aliens there. They are green. Okay?
The government said we have aliens.
I mean, we have to have aliens. Do you think we're part of the simulation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother discussion.
Okay.
I think,
all right. Well, we should take some callers then. I guess so.
Are you a little mad that I came up with Lambo and you came up with water?
I mean, you're throwing me at. I'm coming off a stressful morning. I'm shaking the dust off, of the old brain here, and I think some callers will really do me good. And maybe I should drink more of this beer instead of the water there.
There you go. All right, well, let's take some callers, Charles.
Let's rock and roll, buddy.
Welcome to the Bellied Up Podcast. Who do we got on the line?
This is Jack.
Jack, my man. What's going on today?
How you doing, Miles?
I'm doing good. I'm here with Charlie, too. Why don't you belly up to the bar with us? Tell us what's on your mind.
I'm doing good, too, Jack. Thanks for asking.
Nice to see you, Charlie.
Good to see you, my
I'm
guy.
I'm sitting over here in Sheboygan. I'm sitting here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, enjoying my snow day.
Yeah. I heard there's a snow day, but no snow yet, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's just it's a wintry mix over by the lake right now.
The old wintry mix.
Where are you guys at today?
We are over here in Fargo, North Dakota at the VFW today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
How's the weather over in Fargo? You guys get hit with the winter storm at all?
Well, it's sunny out and it's snowing, which is a confusing thing. I feel like I'm in a snow globe right now.
Okay.
It is very snow globe, but the snow here is very soft and dry, so it kind of does this thing where it just is constantly blowing off the tops of buildings. So it's very snow globe.
Very whimsical here.
Yeah.
Well, fella, what do you got on your mind?
Well, so last year, I'll start with this. My father-in-law grew up on a farm just west of Fond du Lac. Charlie, you might know. You know where Neshkoro is?
Yeah, right over there, huh?
Yeah, just west of Fond du Lac ways.
Sure.
And unfortunately, last year there was a house fire, and so the original part of the house was destroyed enough that they had to tear it down. But my question is, I need some advice on how to rebuild it, because he's a guy that wants to do everything on his own, and he knows a lot about construction, but I'm his son-in-law, and I want to know more, and I want to be able to help him, but I don't know shit about construction. And so I want to be able to help him rebuild the new farm and learn a little bit at the same time. So I was wondering if you had any advice on how a guy who knows nothing about construction can still be useful in a process like this.
Now,
as well as some Midwest advice from you, Charlie, on how to design it or what I should put in it or whatever.
Oh, okay. I like how he already takes away the fact that I know anything about construction by saying,
and then he adds in a question for you.
Yeah.
So first question is, are you a little bit insecure about not knowing as much about construction, and you're worried that he's going to kind of roll his eyes at your current knowledge, or you just want to learn?
I guess I would say I'm a little insecure, and I'm not. He doesn't like work construction. I guess it's more of a way that I want to just make myself useful and be like, I don't know, because he's not really like a construction worker. He's just a guy that likes to do stuff on his own. So he's kind of learning as well. But I don't want to just show up and do nothing. I want to make myself useful. So I want to figure out a way to make that happen, but not look stupid at the same time.
Well, first, I just want to say you're a great son-in-law. You're really putting the effort in on this one. Now, Miles is the resident bellied up construction expert, so
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm going to let him take the lead here. I'm just his little tackle box.
Now,
right?
I think the most important thing right off the bat is the way that you're going to get exposed by this work is if you do something and you do it wrong, or you don't use the correct tool, or maybe you swing a hammer and you miss every single time. So what I would do is I would Because if I know anything about father-in-laws, they're very particular about how they want stuff done. And what you should do before you start any project that he is giving you, you want to say, I know how I would do this project, but I want to do it the way that you want me to do it. So if, do you have anything that you would like me to do so that I don't do it wrong? And I want to respect what you want to build here.
Sounds like you talking to your dad right now.
A little bit, yeah. So then it's like, he knows how to do this. He just wants to do it the way that I want to do it. He's going to like you more. You're going to do it the correct way. And you're going to hide the fact that maybe you don't even know how to do it at all.
Sure.
And then when he gives you that
makes sense.
When he gives you that little bit of leeway to go do it in the way that he tells you to do it and whatever, that's when you got to make sure you have access to good internet, because you're going to need YouTube.
Yes.
You are going to need to YouTube the hell out of this thing. Do not try to do it on your own. And don't try to just follow the way he tells you to do it, because you're not going to remember that. Let's be honest. You're going to miss a critical step. And then his whole damn house, it's not going to catch on fire. It's just going to fall down on him. And then you're going to have even bigger problems. So make sure you YouTube it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, also, don't pull permits. It's just going to cost you more taxes. And I don't think you even need permits out there, do you?
I don't think so.
In farm country?
Yeah.
Nah.
He has a build permit. It's posted on the wall somewhere. I know he's done that. But
Did he write it up in Sharpie?
Oh, I didn't have one.
Oh.
Also, you're going to have...
He is very...
I would also Google common construction lingo if I were you. If
sure.
we just got to move that a skosh, right? You're like, okay, well, how far is that? Do I go left? Do I go right? You got to Google, know these terms ahead of time so that when he is using his lingo, you're going to know what to do. Otherwise, you're going to be standing there with your hammer in your hand wondering what to do.
Yep.
I'm also going to throw this out there. You've got to start pretending like you have a hearing problem now. Lay the foundation for him to repeat stuff often and give yourself plausible deniability, where if you screw something up, you're like, I'm sorry, Pop, I shot the gun too much and I can't hear as good. So I'm out here trying, but I've got this hearing impairment.
Yeah. All my years of doing construction, I just have bad hearing from it. I should have wore ear protection. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually that's the construction, the gun, or you can say you got memory problems because you hit your head on the construction site too.
Yeah.
And so then make him write it down. Write this stuff down. He's going to remember exactly what he said to you. It's going to go in one ear, out the other for you. So make sure you write it down.
Another tip when you're writing this stuff down, if you use paper, he will know so fast that you'd have never done anything construction-wise. I want you to grab any piece of scrap. It could be sheetrock. It could be a 2x4. Could be plywood. And you write anything that he says down on that. Therefore, he will know that you're not an imposter because you're using a pen and a piece of paper.
That's great advice. It's always a big freaking square pencil, and a 2x4 is your notebook.
Sounds good.
What are you specifically nervous about going into this? Is there something in your mind you're like, I really don't know how to do?
I guess it would be just like, I don't know. I'm a teacher, and so I'm not really familiar with like building things. And he's like doing this from scratch. So I guess like framing or putting in drywall or things like that. I just need he hired someone to help because he's not like a professional construction worker. So he has people that come in and like do stuff. So I guess just the biggest thing is just like trying to find like what little things do you think I could do as a person who never really like I don't need to help with any like the major stuff. It's mostly just like the little things that you can get done on the weekend or just things like that. Like, what do you think are some things that I could be like, hey, Chad, what are some things you need help with that I could easily get done? What do you think?
I think that you could easily be the grunt work guy. That was kind of my role, right? I'm not great at finishing stuff. right? So I was not great with making sure every cut was square. I wasn't great with all that. But if you give me a job to move this thing from point A to point B, if maybe the demolition could be a good one, you can't mess up demolition.
I mean,
Right.
I hate to say this, but I've you take out a bathroom and they're like, oh, we wanted to keep that toilet and it's broke. You can mess up demolition.
Okay.
Speaking from experience,
That is true.
put a hammer right through a toilet.
That advice was not Charlie proof. Sorry.
No. Oh, I do. I agree with Miles on that last thing. I'll say, it's always hard to go from YouTube video to practice and just give yourself a little semblance. Maybe you can frame up something you want in your basement, perhaps a bar, put a little bar in your basement. Oh, you have that.
Charlie, I have a bar with 8 bar stools. I had the best New Year's Eve party ever.
Oh, good for you.
Did you build it?
No, it was here when the previous owner built it.
This is a great project. You're gonna tear that bar out, and then you're gonna start from scratch because you got to have some experience under your belt.
Yeah, if you could just give yourself one little bar to build, and maybe if you don't want to tear the one out in your basement, go build a bar in your garage.
Add on to the current bar.
Add on to the current one. Frame something a little bit. Put up some drywall. Give yourself just a base layer of something. And show up with a good drill. Don't show up with a piece of crap. Otherwise, that'll be a nowhere right there too. But when you build the thing, you'll have a decent drill. So I think there's some there.
Also, make sure the batteries are charged.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot.
No, this is how he impresses a Miles. Show up with a corded drill. And just a big old extension cord. He's going to respect the hell out of a corded drill. Get yourself an old corded
drill.
Black & Decker. One of those hammer drills. That one of them suckers that can get through the concrete. He's going to, he might be like, oh, I haven't seen one of them in a while. Let me see that sucker. The other
aspect is you can't show up in clean stuff. You cannot have just bought this at the store. And if you do got to buy something new at the store, you're going to have to rough that sucker up. You buy a tool belt, you're going to have to take a sandpaper to it, rough it up, roll it in the dirt, roll it in the mud, all that. Otherwise, that's going to expose you pretty fast as well.
Get a little 80 grit on it, okay? Don't go with a 330. That's not going to help your cause. It's just going to polish it up nice.
Yeah, it'll look nicer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, so that brings me to my next question. Do you understand the 80 grit and the 330 grit, what we're talking about?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
You know so or you believe so?
I guess I believe so. I guess I can't give you a 100% satisfaction answer.
We might be worse off than we thought, Charlie.
It's an easy one. Easy little 80 grit is the coarsest shit. The lower the number, the more coarse. The higher the number, because all it is a little like a 1 grit is just like a 2x4. You just shove at another 2x4, and then it goes all the way up to. Yeah, you get it.
Well, and that's actually very important. You're learning a lot. You're going to have to watch a lot of YouTube because if he tells you need to sand that before that they paint it or something, and he takes an 80 grit to it and doesn't use the polish grit on it, that could be tough. Could be bad.
Yeah. So a little wood, honestly, I think we gave him a lot right on this deal.
I agree.
Yeah.
Any other questions that we haven't answered for you?
I guess now that we kind of got the construction part taken care of.
Oh yeah.
What are some things I need to tell my father-in-law Chad he has to include in his new house, basically? And I will say he uses this property for hunting land. He's got 90 acres, so he spends a lot of time here hunting, and we celebrate Thanksgiving. And what are some things he needs to include at what he calls the new farm?
Yeah, you're going to want a freezer wall. You're going to want a wall of chest freezers, and none of the freezers can match, and they all have to have some problem with the motor on the freezer.
And they all got to be plugged into the same outlet.
Yep.
You got to just use an extension cords and a 3-prong Like, basically, no power strips either. We don't need to protect against surges out there.
Yeah, no, just one of those little 3 splitters.
Yep.
Right?
Lots of 3 splitters.
Yeah. And I want each of the motors humming at a different key. So I want one to be like down here, like, mo, 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 and then one up here. And every motor just a little uneven in its deal, It'll be a beautiful broken freezer motor symphony, and it's going to hold all the deers, because at any given time, one of them freezers is going to go out, so they're not all going to be completely filled. You're just going to have to move the deer over to the one that's working.
Yeah, you're going to want like 4 to 5 on.
Yeah.
And then just have one be empty, because you'll know that one's going to go out, and you're going to have to do a little game of moving stuff around.
Yeah, musical deer freezer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he's always going to be working on one. And then above that, of course, you're going to have the trophy wall. You got the trophies up top, and then the rest of the deer down below in the freezers. So make that a nice big wall. That'll be completely necessary. Miles, what else would you toss in there?
I would maybe toss in some like deep red carpet. It can't be like a tan carpet in there, and it can't be very good carpet. It's got to be an off color, maybe a forest green, because that's going to match real well with the paneling I'm imagining they're putting up in here.
Yeah, you should have wood paneling on the walls, and at least one wall should have a accent of carpeting. So that same carpeting Miles is talking about, you're going to have a little bit extra. Have one wall where the carpeting just kind of crawls up the wall, and it's a little accent wall. Okay,
that is a good point.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a carpet wall.
Yep. And then also you're gonna want to find yourself a pull tab machine, either through bribing of a local bar owner or just traditional thievery, and get that going on in there. You will need a constant supply of pull tabs. I'm not sure how that system works.
You can find them somewhere.
Yeah, you'll want to figure that out before. So,
yeah. And the last thing that I'll add is none of the furniture or any decor should match. If it matches, you've gone down the wrong way. So every chair needs to be different, every table, every light fixture, all of it. And if you can find an old neon too, that'd be nice.
And I would even go out there to the Salvation Army, find yourself a nice table and sand that sucker down and revarnish it as a welcome gift to your father-in-law to start the process off. It's going to cost you $10, maybe $50 in sandpaper supplies and whatnot, varnish, paintbrush, all that, and give him a nice new table for the deal. That would be really, really good, I think. A nice little offering there. Yeah. Aside for that, antler chandelier. And then if one of those freezers does officially screw the pooch, what you can do is cut the top off of it and then put some piping in the back and then take it into the restroom area, which should be a bar style restroom, and make that freezer a trough pisser.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good one. Or you could just take it outside on the hunting land and put some tannerite in it and blow that sucker up.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a better idea. Just blow it up. Yeah, you can find anything to be a trough.
What do you want to lug that thing to the dump? No. Let's just blow it to smithereens.
No.
Yeah, you blow it up or bury it.
That's great. Okay.
Oh,
well, I appreciate all that advice.
Yeah, hang on. Last piece of advice on the freezer, too. You can actually bury that halfway in the ground and then pump hot water into it. Those make great hot tubs. That's the last thing I'm going to say. They're insulated, as you know. So, yeah. And do not take the top off, because that's the top of the that's your hot tub cover. Okay, just don't lock yourself in there. All right. Well, that it was great talking to you, and we were happy to really, give you some insight there.
Yeah. Can I get a buy sell trade in real quick?
Well, I suppose.
I have a Kenmore electric glass top cooking range for sale. My wife and I just updated our appliances, and so we have our old oven up for sale.
No, you don't. You have a gift to your father-in-law for the new place.
Did you hear what he just said?
I did.
Yeah.
Is it going to match
Great
the
point,
fridge or the microwave or the stove or the anything else in there? They're not going to be a dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
Does it match any of that? No, but that's exactly what we're looking for.
And you're gonna see that man cry. I mean, that glass top.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have gotten like $300, $400 for that thing. You know, man. Yeah. So you're off to
we're
a good
excited
start.
for you, man. I think that the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
And good luck. Got to do some research, side project, get those freezers, all that. We're excited for you.
Send us a picture when it's
Sounds
done.
good.
We'll post it.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of the finished project.
Sounds good, man. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too now. Bye-bye. You know,
I think the first mistake that he made is that he was calling it a house when it's really a hunting shack, is what it sounds like.
It didn't seem like a house. I feel for the guy. You know, I've been in my life. I've been in a lot of situations where I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I imagine most of the time that's how it goes.
It is, but you know, it's fun because then you learn a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, but I think if you go into it with the attitude of I don't know anything, that's difficult. If you go into it with the attitude of I know everything, that's difficult. So I think giving them
Right down the middle.
a little baseline and knowledge. You know, it's like when you go out drinking, you need a couple slices of pizza and your little base layer.
Something to soak it up.
Yeah. Because otherwise it doesn't stick on nothing like that. I hope he frames something in his garage because that'll help him quite a bit. You know,
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, should we take another caller?
I think so. Folks, we want to talk about our presenting sponsor, Nicolay Law. Nicolay, or Nicolette, if you're not about the silent T's. They're not your regular law firm, folks. It's run by a flannel wearing, beer drinking, beard appreciating folks.
He looks like Mr. Nicolay looks like he's got a good beard balm.
Yeah. Oh, I betcha. I
gotta ask him about his beard balm routine.
I want to ask him about that too. You know what? I think he's going to call in at some point. I think we should ask him about if he does the olive oil.
Yeah.
You ever put olive oil in your beard?
We'll figure out what his routine is, Charlie, so that we can also emulate it. Because
how did you forget my name, dude?
I almost called you Ann.
You almost called me Ann?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not going to read into that.
Why don't you just sue me over it, okay, Charlie?
Why would I sue you? Well, because then you could be represented by Nicolay Law Firm, folks.
Yeah, you got injured on this podcast mentally.
I did get injured.
So you need to call Nicolay Law.
You better be scared because fear the beard, baby. The folks at Nicolay Law, they have got you covered. Everyday Midwestern folks, you know, the ones you see at the grocery store, walking the dog down the street, you know, chilling at the local watering hole. They know how life is in the Northwoods because they're living it too. So if you have an unexpected accident or a emotional abuse from your co-host, give Nicolay a call and you know they're going to understand where you're coming from. And you probably already know the number to call. Their billboards are just about everywhere. Russell Nicolay is the bald fella with the beard and the sun goggles that's on 1,000 billboards in Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota. So check him out, nicolaylaw.com, or just stare out the window when you're driving down the road. Don't get injured, but if you're injured, get Nicolay. Welcome to the Bellied Up Podcast. Oh,
Hello.
Did we catch you in the pisser? What's going on?
No, I was just reading. I was just almost fell asleep, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I had a beep, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm in the podcast.
Yeah,
You almost
welcome.
fell
Sorry for the language, by the way.
Where are you calling in
I
from?
was like, I'm calling from Norway.
No shit.
No way.
Norway.
No shit, Norway. Yeah. So
Well, this
South
is
of Norway.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Bellied Up Podcast. This is
You're our first Norwegian that we've ever had call in. So this is pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah.
What time is it there? I always
it's
like
very
playing
nice
that game. What time is it there?
What do you mean? It's let me check the clock here. It's almost 7 o'clock here. So yeah, almost 19 or oh.
Yeah, it
so
is.
I think it's like
yeah, it is bedtime for you.
7
I
hours.
suppose.
7 hour difference.
Yeah.
7 hours. Also, my dad's in the background if you hear someone, so he was just correcting me.
Oh, tell your dad we says hi. You guys are like,
They say hi, Dad. Hello there.
hello.
There he is.
Yeah, he says hi.
You guys are future travelers.
Yeah, what's the future like
Yeah,
in
we're from-
Norway?
Oh, we got flying cars. Robots have taken over, so that kind of sucks.
I knew the robots were going to take over.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, why don't you belly up to the bar with us? Tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah, no, so I was listening to some few episodes ago. There was this guy from New Zealand, and he asked if, like, New Zealand could be a part of the Midwest. And I was thinking, why should Norway, too, be a part of the Midwest,
Okay.
All right.
I was
It's
wondering
time.
if that...
It's time to state your case.
See, I wanted to say it together, Miles.
Oh,
but you
sorry.
jumped in.
It is time to
state your case. Should Norway be part of the Midwest? Let's hear your pitch.
I think we do enjoy fishing. We fish a lot, especially down there in South Norway. We fish. We got boats. Do a lot of boating. Hunting too. We do a lot of hunting.
What do you guys hunt for?
Hunting. We hunt. Deer. I don't know what kind of deer is it? Like, do we call them whitetails there?
No, roe deer and stag.
Roe deer and stag and mooses.
Oh, you got mooses.
What's the call? Yeah, we got mooses. We hunt mooses too.
You guys.
So, and what else?
And reindeer.
Reindeer. Yeah, if you go up north, you can hunt reindeers too. So we're kind of on Santa's most wanted list.
Santa's most wanted list. All of Norway. You're off to a great start.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more Midwest than compromising Christmas for a nice reindeer. So, feeling right so far. Also, the fact that your dad is in the background reminding you to mention hunting, pretty damn Midwest.
I would say so.
I'll tell you that. So, all right. Yeah, you're on a roll. We're going to let you keep rolling.
Yeah, what about culturally? What do you guys do for fun besides hunting and fishing?
What we do for fun and hunting and fishing? Well, Norwegians really like to... we do drink. Well,
you don't
we
say.
don't drink old fashions. No, we don't. But we don't drink old fashions here. Here we drink more gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
And so if gin and tonic. So if you go to a bar or any restaurant, they will always have a gin tonic there. And they have like two kinds of gin tonics. They have the normal standard gin tonic, and then they have the fancy gin tonic, which is like they have like the gin tonic, and then they have maybe like a plant or like some berries in it to make it look fancy. Almost tastes the same. So
well, putting berries in a liquor cocktail, that's very old fashioned. We do that with old fashions, and we put veggies in Bloody Marys. So, I mean, it's sounding like what'd your dad say?
Cross country skiing.
Cross.
He keeps cross country skiing.
I don't cross country ski.
You don't say.
But we do have some Nordic tracks here in the Midwest.
We absolutely do. In Hayward, Wisconsin, we got the Berkey binder, which is the it's a big old
Wait, can you say that? Can you say that name again? The Berkey binder?
Berkey binder.
Oh yeah, that's Birke. We call that Birke binder. It's I think we made a movie about that actually. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, how do you say it again?
Birke binder.
Birkey binder. Birkey binder.
Birke binder. Yeah. Birke binder. Yeah.
Oh, you roll the R. You roll the R.
Yeah, we roll the R a lot here.
Birkey binder. Birkey binder.
Birke binder.
Yeah. Better keep.
There we go.
Yes,
Okay,
beer.
I have a question that I think something that the Midwest can learn from the Scandinavian countries. I don't know if you guys do it in Norway. I think this might be a Denmark thing, and correct me if I'm wrong. This might sound very foreigner of me, but is it Denmark or Norway or all you guys just leave your babies in a carriage thing sitting outside when you go into restaurants and stuff?
Yeah, we do that. We do that there. We do that. My sister does it with her kid, and apparently, if she tries to make him to sleep, she puts him in the carriage outside, and it could be like 1- outside or anything, and he'll be just fine. And if we take him back inside again, he just starts crying. So she just puts him back. She just puts him back outside again, and then she's all fine. Then he's all fine and is sleeping. So yeah, we do that.
That is awesome.
Yeah, we do that.
Super badass. I heard that it's actually this went viral on the internet not too long ago, and some of the comments. I mean, I don't know if this is true. I got it off TikTok or some bullshit. I think that it's supposed to be better for your kids in some way, right? Like circulation or something. Do you read that, Miles?
Yeah, I don't. I know that there's some sort of benefit.
The benefits, they're out of the house. They're crying outside with the squirrels. That's
I don't really know.
I think it was like it also helps build their immune system.
That was it. Builds their immune system.
Yeah.
Uffda. Oh,
yeah, that could be it.
You guys.
Oh
say
yeah,
Uffda.
we do say. Yeah, we invented that word. We do say Uffda.
Yeah, we probably got.
We pronounce it as Uffda.
Well, and that's what
that's pretty. Yeah,
I think your strongest argument here for being part of the Midwest is that Norwegians helped build the Midwest. I mean, a lot of immigrant groups did, and Norwegians certainly part of it. There's this town in Wisconsin called Westby, Wisconsin, and they've got all these. I think, they're the Norwegian flags just sitting up there, and they've got a lot of Norwegian heritage, So, and that's
so. In reality, does Norway want to be part of the Midwest, or does the Midwest kind of own Norway?
Midwest want to be
for a lot of our culture.
We do own Norway.
Yeah,
I do have a grandpa lives in Wisconsin, so yeah, I guess so.
Where is he in Wisconsin, your grandpa?
He lives in the area. He lives pretty close to a small town called Hawkins, if you've heard about that. Not the one from Stranger Things, but like a different place.
Oh, okay. Is it in the western part of the state? I don't know exactly where that is. This doesn't make good radio, but I'm curious.
Let me ask, hey Dad, where does Hawking live? Does it north or south, or what's that again?
Oh, it's a little bit southeast of Hayward.
Oh, yeah.
Southeast of Hayward.
I was just in Hayward this summer, actually, so I was right by there.
Yeah, I go right up there every year to go fishing over at the Tiger Muskie. So maybe we should stop by and say hi to your grandpa, Does your grandpa go to the... Better keep behind
I think he's too old to go Birkebeiner. I think he's too old for that. He's like almost 90 years old, but he lives kind of like a bit like a small little farm all by himself. Sometimes he drives down to Illinois, Chicago to visit some friends and family over there, but he mostly keeps himself up there.
Nice.
So we're going to visit him me, my dad, my sister, and my cousin's grandpa are all planning to visit him and go hunting in November.
That sounds awesome.
That is going to be awesome.
So a question for you. I've always wondered this. You say he's 90 years old. I feel like people in Norway live longer than Americans. I feel like they are happier than Americans are. So to us Americans, what is the key and success to long living and happiness from someone who lives in Norway?
I would probably say that because we do go on a lot of walks and we do enjoy nature a lot. We go on a lot of walks, mostly like, cross skiing or long hikes up in the mountains. So that's maybe could be one of the keys.
So you're saying don't sit on your couch with your neck cranked, looking at your phone all day. Get outside and touch grass.
Yeah. Go outside, touch grass, and also visit the Norwegian fjords. Those are also pretty nice.
Well, we got to get a little info on that. What is that?
Fjord is like, I don't know how to really describe it, but it's like the fjords. Yes.
Yeah, I know that. I've read. Miles is looking at me confused, though, so you might have to explain it for Miles, but I'm smart.
Yeah, no, I know. Just for our listeners that maybe don't know.
Oh, yeah, just for our listeners.
Fjords is like it's like a river that kind of goes between two really big mountains. That's probably where I can find most of the Americans, actually, because that's the first thing they want to watch.
Yeah.
So big mountains, river going through it. So yeah, that's the fjord. I'm not really good at explaining these.
No, we're looking at a picture right now.
Yeah,
Encyclopedia Britannica is really, I mean, this is pretty awesome. And what you're saying about being outside, that makes sense. I learned recently that trees give off a drug. It's called like phyticides or something. So, and it helps prevent against cancer. I heard it.
Your TikTok looks much different than mine, Charlie.
I didn't see it on TikTok.
Yeah, right.
I know a fellow who's an expert said it to me in something, and I don't really remember any of it. But look it up. Google it. Look up the drugs from trees as you breathe them in and no cancer or something. Google all that. See what pops up. Anyways,
I got one more question. You guys said that you do like to go drinking. I feel like every other country in the world has phenomenal drinking culture chants and songs that they sing when they're at the bar all together. Does Norway have any of those?
I'm not really an outsider drinker guy, but I've heard one song that I know the youth likes to sing now is something about that. We're so rich that we could buy Sweden or something. It's like I don't know the song by heart, but it's like a song where they talk about, they're so rich because we got oil and Sweden doesn't, so we can just buy Sweden.
Is there a lot of inter-country rivalry between the Scandinavian countries?
Yes, there is. It's not like we hate each other, but it's like we just. If like a Norwegian and a Swede meets each other, they will be like, fuck you. Anyways, have a nice day. Fuck you. I'm sorry for the language.
And you know what? Now you don't want to apologize. I think this leads into what you originally called for, being part of the Midwest. That sounds very similar to Wisconsin's beef with Illinois. Bears fans versus Packers fans. F you.
Yeah.
Tell your folks I says, watch for deer.
You want another drink?
Yeah, you want another beer, F you.
Yeah, that's basically how it goes.
Here's the real
kind of like I think. Oh no! Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, is Norway the Illinois or is Norway the Wisconsin, and is Sweden like which one's the Wisconsin of the two?
Oh, that's a really hard question, actually. I would say probably Norway is I think Norway is the Wisconsin, and Sweden could be the Illinois. Yes, I think so.
And I'm just going to accept that because I don't know any information on it.
Yeah.
Well, from where I'm sitting, I think that we would be glad to have you, but it kind of feels a little wrong because I feel like a lot of the Midwest came from Norway. So it's more so a joint venture than it is accepting you guys into the Midwest. It's more of a partnership in my mind.
Yeah, we'll call it a partnership.
That's also about right.
And before you go, I just want to hear it straight from a Norwegian's mouth. What is the definition of Uffda?
The definition of Uffda, that's a good one. I think it's like it's kind of like I think it's kind of like if you say Uffda, it's like you dropped your car keys, Uffda. You got run over by a car, Uffda. I'm sorry. Did you Oh, I'm sorry. Did your wife break up with you? Uffda.
I could not have said it better myself.
So Uffda can basically be used for anything. I mean, it's the same word you'd say if you drop a casserole on the floor and if someone like dies, you know, it's the same word.
Yeah, Uffda.
Uffda, an all-encompassing word, a beautiful word. Well, that's great.
Lefse is Norwegian, right?
Yeah.
Left?
So so I got a question for you. Do you guys eat lefse regularly in Norway?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have like all different kinds of lefse. We have like lefse with sugar on it, which is like a dessert. And then you have lefse that you put around the hot dog, and that's also pretty good. So that's potato lefse is what
you guys eat. You guys eat lefse with hot dogs in them?
Yeah. It's like potato lefse. You know, you wrap it around the hot dog, and it's pretty good. You put like ketchup. You take the lefse, you put ketchup, you put mustard, you put like roasted onion on it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Sauerkraut.
Like roasted onion. Sauerkraut? Is that what we call it? That? No.
No, we don't put that on.
No. Oh, so it's like roasted onion and ketchup, mustard, and you wrap around and you eat it. So that's kind of how we have it.
That sounds awesome. Next time I got lefse
and shrimp salad. And shrimp salad too.
You put it in shrimp salad, or it replaces the shrimp in the salad?
No, we put like shrimp salad, or shrimp salad in the hot dog.
Oh, this is still going in the hot dog.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try this.
Yeah.
And also and then for dessert, have sugar lefse.
Yes.
So
it's because. I'm sorry.
No, you just put sugar on it. Is that it? Is that the recipe?
Butter, probably.
No, it's like it's probably butter. I really don't know, but like it's a different. Like there's like two types of lefse. If you're probably in an area in the Midwest around the 17th of May, which is like the National Day of Norway. Last time I was in America, that was on the 17th of May, and I was like in a Norwegian American Norwegian celebration, and then there I found lefse, or as they like to call it, the pølse. No, pølse with like hot dog.
I love that,
and that's really fun to. Yeah, it's really fun to go to those Norwegian celebration in America, and you see they all try to they find out that, oh, you're from Norway. Can I try my Norwegian on you? I was like, oh, okay. It's like Uffda, hallo, Åsengård. I'm like, oh my god.
Well,
this is awesome.
Yeah, it is. And can you, before we go, can you just teach us one phrase to say to a Norwegian that will impress them?
Teach them one phrase that could impress an American. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
What the Norwegian word should we teach these people? They want to impress like other Norwegians by learning a Norwegian phrase or word.
Oh my goodness! Oh boy, think about that one.
I'm trying to think about this. Like, okay, yeah. So this is a word, like a little sentence that we always say to. So if we have a guy who's like a foreigner and he wants to learn one Norwegian sentence or word, it's "Jeg kan ikke snakke norsk."
Can you go a scotch slower on that?
And also, before we say it, what does it mean? Yeah. I heard the dad laughing in the background. What does it mean?
It means I cannot speak Norwegian.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be nice to know.
All right,
I can.
One time slower. We're gonna get it, and then we're gonna let you go.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not going to teach him that.
No, teach us that.
Shut up. Fittikatta.
What did he say?
Okay. He said fittikatta.
Which means?
50 kappa.
Fitti or fitte could mean...
No, it's not. That's another word.
What are you... Got that. I really don't know, but it's like if you're being shocked or if you're having like a shocking reaction, it's like, oh, fittikatta. I really don't know what it means, but fitti... Yeah, you said it. Say that again.
Fittikatta.
No, not kappa, but katta, like katta means cat. Katta, kata.
Kata.
Kata. Spit I katta.
Pitti kata.
It means like darn it. It means like darn it,
Okay.
Oh, darn.
Gata.
basically.
Nice word.
It's a nice word.
Spit I katta.
Pitti kata.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you teaching us some
you got it right.
Norwegian, man. That was great.
Yeah, this was
Hey, no
awesome.
problem.
And I think it's time to officially make it. Norway is officially part of the Midwest. Here, here.
Here, here.
Yeah.
I gotta raise a beer.
Yeah.
Cheers to you.
I don't have I
Well-
can drink some Christmas soda.
Yeah, have yourself a
beer.
Christmas soda. Cheers it, raise it high.
Well, thanks for calling in today, man. This was
Hey.
great. And maybe
Hey, no problem.
don't be shy. Call in again. This is great.
Yeah. Uffda.
Hey, that Uffda indeed. Have a good one. And watch out for deer.
You watch out for reindeer.
Yeah, we watch out for reindeer. Yeah. What? Wait, they're gonna. And my dad wants to say goodbye too.
Yeah.
Hey, see you later, and don't eat the lutefisk.
Okay, we won't.
I don't
We'll
have
stay
any
away
problem.
from it.
I don't have any problem with that. So.
Yeah. And by the way, I just want to say this is really reiterating your stance as part of the Midwest because we're now in a Norwegian goodbye. And that's very similar to a Midwest goodbye.
That's pretty similar to. I forgot to mention that too.
Hey, Scott, you can teach him, the word for balls is
What's the word for balls?
Pungen.
Punyan?
Onion.
Pungen.
Kumyan?
Pungen.
Pumyan?
No, pungen.
Pumyan?
Pungen. Yeah,
Pumyan?
you almost got it.
Bunyan.
Pungen.
Punyan?
Pungen.
Punyan.
Pungen.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. Your dad's great. You're great.
No
And,
problem.
tell
Tell
your
him
dad
that.
we says hi.
Tell your dad we says bye. Uffda punyan lutefisk. Okay, bye-bye now.
Yes, I will. Have a good one. Hey.
Bye-bye now.
So many more things I wanted to ask.
Well, we
That's
coulda-
one place in the world I haven't gone. I would like to go to Norway or one of those countries.
Yeah.
Awesome. We
One
should
of
do
the
that.
fingers. You and me?
We should take this worldwide, Charlie.
We can. We can. How about
I think they have internet there, so I think we're good.
Why don't we do it before your baby boy comes? We'll do a little baby moon, you and me. We'll go
Do
to
we
Norway.
want to go there in the winter though, or do we want to go there in the summer?
I think we gotta go in the winter.
So
We gotta go see babies sitting outside in the winter.
yeah, I do need to see that. I don't believe them. I think it's like they're just doing it for TikTok,
That's kind of wow. They wrap them up.
They just they wrap them up in warm clothing and then they just leave them outside. Can you imagine if people started doing that in the U.S.? People would be losing their mind.
Yeah.
Someone would get called for child neglect.
Yeah. Do you lock them? Do you chain them up like a bike? You don't want someone stealing your stroller. So I would think here you'd have at least have to have a U-lock for the baby. Who wants to steal a baby though? Let's be honest.
It's true.
That's like the biggest pain in
Maybe
the ass to steal.
I'll start the trend with my kid.
Do it.
Yep. I'll just leave him outside.
Yeah, well, bring them. Bring your kid to the first. I guess you're gonna have a summer baby.
Yeah,
Largely.
we'll wait till the winter.
Wait till the winter.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, I think that was another good episode of the Bellied Up podcast. We went worldwide on this one.
Punya.
Yes.
We learned how to say balls in Norway. And that's why every episode of this Miles just keeps getting better and better, You
never know who's going to be on the other line.
You never do know. You never know what country they're calling in from until they say Uffda. And folks, we love having you here listening. We thank you so much. We want to remind you to tip your bartender and watch for some deer.
Love you guys.